Alright, hello guys, welcome to another stream. Today we're going to be working on the Hive City meets the Ash Wastes board that we're making for Hobby House. As you can see, I've set it up so you guys can actually see what it's looking like. Granted, it doesn't all fit in the shop, but most of it does, so that'll do for now. Basically, I've been busy on this for the past few days. I have added some bits and pieces. I've added some craters. I have added like a bunch of rocks, and basically I've kind of given it not verticality, but I've kind of raised it up a little bit so it looks more uneven and rough, like you would expect the ash wastes to look, basically. And today I'm going to be putting some texture on it. So I've got a box, it's a box, I guess, full of sand and glue, some forbidden ice cream, and I'm going to coat the board in it, basically. And then once we've done that and it's all dried, we can undercoat it and start painting it. So yeah, we are well on our way. How are we all doing this evening? Big Brain, greetings. Hello, Big Brain. Hello, Chris. Is there a role, Big Brain? Is there a role in Discord? A mod role? There is, Big Brain. There's a couple of mods already. There's like 8 of us, and there's 2 mods. But we might need some more soon. So, all right. Yeah, we are moving forward basically with this, which is quite nice. I feel like I had a little bit of a lull recently where I didn't really know what next steps to take, basically, because I want to make sure there's adequate detail in this build, and I guess I was struck with a little bit of analysis paralysis, which we all know can be devastating. But back on track now. The key was just to get started on it, basically, because all the other little details that we're adding can always be added on after. So, you know, bits like barrels, kind of walkways that are going to bridge the empty gaps. And yeah, all the other little bits that you'd expect to find. So let's get some texture on this. Chris, the bridge looks great. Thank you very much, Chris. We finally got it assembled and it's glued now. I've used a combination of super glue and no more nails to hold the bridge together. So, Ginger Steve, excited to see this in person. It's looking amazing. Well done and thanks, mate. Well, you know who I've got to thank, Ginger Steve, is you, because I noticed that you became a member the other day, and I really appreciate it. But I haven't had a chance to say thank you to you directly, because I don't think you've been on the last few streams. But thank you very much. Did I say Chris? I'm sorry if I said Chris. I was just speaking to the other Chris. Ginger Steve, thank you very much. It's nice to have you on board. Big Brain, are the barge custom? Are the barge custom? Do you mean the bridge, Big Brain? The bridge is not custom. I think any of you guys can get your hands on the file for this bridge. I don't know who makes it, unfortunately. I could probably find out if you guys really want to know. But basically, Toby from Hobby House gave me this printed bridge, and we agreed that it was going to be used in this Ash Wastes project. So, and bear in mind, this that we're painting is only a section of the board, so the section is going to be like 3 times the size of this. This is sort of only representative of part of the outskirts of the ash wastes. So obviously we've still got our hive wall to do, which is going to be pretty damn big, and then we've got like a little section which is going to have our ash waste nomads. So you can expect to see a few habs and you know, kind of shipping containers and stuff like that. So yeah, lots to do basically. Gargaloth, hello, good evening. Hello, Gargaloth, welcome to the stream. We are actually trying to get some stuff done on camera, like some proper progress. So I've set it up that you guys can see me painting on some texture in the form of sand and glue. Ginger Steve, well, I'm one of the Hobby House owners. So it's more of a thanks to you, mate. I appreciate that, Ginger Steve. We'll have to have a conversation next time I'm down while I'm bringing you this table down. Which hopefully shouldn't be too long. since we're full speed ahead with this at the moment, after the aforementioned analysis paralysis. Big Brain, well, I'm a Chris too. Do you know what, Big Brain? You have been on here, on these streams now for like, what is it, 2 months, I think we've been doing this? And you've never once told me your name, so that is the first time I'm hearing your name. So we've got a couple of Chris's. We now got one Steve. And then a few of my other regulars I don't actually know by name, so we'll have to change that. For those of you who want to, of course. You are more than welcome to keep your anonymity if you so choose. The Traitor Guardsman, hello, how's it going? I think I have seen it or something very similar on eBay. You have Traitor Guardsman. I have seen these prints. So long before I started this project for Hobby House, I did see a few of these prints on eBay and I was very tempted, actually. So it feels like a bit of Destiny Manifest in a way. Because I always wanted to try painting something like this and work on this kind of bridge design, but I never committed to it. So now I just get to do it through Hobby House, basically. Gargaloth. Okay, I must admit I have totally missed this project. Probably not Gargaloth. I've only done like 2 or 3 streams about this project, I think. And a lot of the time I've been working on much smaller elements of it. So basically in a few of the other streams I've been working on a Crashed Aquila Lander, which is going to feature on one of the sections of this board, probably the Nomad section. And I've been working on some shipping containers as well. So because this hasn't been parked in front of me, you probably haven't seen it up until now. Though it was in one of the thumbnails. Gargaloth looks pretty epic though. Thank you, Gargaloth. I'm hoping it looks a lot better once we get a nice base coat on it, and then I can take the airbrush to it, and we can really start to make it pop then. And obviously my favourite part is going to be all the little details, because I feel like the devil is in the details. You know, what we're trying to do is kind of tread the line between like a diorama and a board. So obviously it'll be a gaming table that you guys can play on. You can come down to Hobby House and have a go on. But what I want to do is make sure that it's got that level of detail to kind of immerse you. Because we've definitely had a conversation before about like boring terrain, and that's not what we want for this project. We want something that's really immersive and you know, great to look at and great to put your miniatures on and take pictures if you want to. So that's what we're going for, basically. Traitor Guardsman, I'm Chris as well. There's no way. 3 Chris's? Does this stream just attract all the Chris's? Jock, hello Jock, how's it going? That's some big bridge you have there. It is a big bridge, and you know what? Looking at it through the lens of this camera and on the laptop there, it doesn't really do it justice, because you guys are looking at it sort of side on, but it's pretty damn big. And when I put a little space marine on it, it looks tiny compared to the bridge. Gargaloth, it's all 3D printed, I assume. This stuff on this section of the board, Gargaloth, is pretty much just all 3D prints. I have used some old craters from Games Workshop, which have been out of production for a very long time. And I've had them sitting about for a very long time, and I figured they would look very good on this project. So may as well use them, otherwise they're just going to sit and gather dust. But yeah, aside from that, 2 out of 3 of our sort of terrain pieces on this section are 3D prints. But I think once we tie it all in, you're not really going to be able to tell. Thank you, Gargaloth. I'm glad you think so. Same guy as the gate. Am I the same guy as the gate? I do have it behind me, just above my head here. You can see the gate. The now named Big Brain Gate. Traitor Guardsman. It needs a Malstrain Gene Stealer hiding under the bridge in one of the corners in the shadows. That could be pretty cool. Traitor Guardsman. I think this board is pretty much just going to have like skulls and stuff though when it comes to miniatures, because obviously for this we are not making a diorama. this is going to be a playable board that you can come and try out in Hobby House in a few months. I've kind of worked it so this will be the first section I tackle, and then once we're done with this one, we are going to focus on the Ash Wastes Nomad side of things. So we've got a few habs to go down, we've got, like I said, the Aquila Lander, and a bunch of other bits and bobs basically. And then finally, the last section we will address is the Hive Wall section, which Toby has given me plenty of wall sections to bulk it out. So I think you guys are going to be quite surprised at how tall we managed to make it. All playable, of course, though. We're not going to make anything that is not playable. Yeah, is it the same guy that... Oh, is it the same guy? Sorry about that, Traitor Guardsman. My... Oh, Gargaloth, sorry. It's not. It's not. So, the gate section that was made for my throne room diorama was made by Frankie. I follow him... For any of you, basically, who follow me on Instagram, if you look through who I'm following... Because I can never remember Frankie's numbers after his username. He's got like Frankie2145. But basically, if you look for Frankie, he's got like an orange logo. He 3D designs a lot of stuff compatible with Necromunda and Warhammer. Basically, he made it, he designed it, and he printed it for me. He is an absolute legend. But what we have here, Toby has printed this off at Hobby House. I don't know which printer he uses for them, but it's done a really nice job. It's nice and sturdy, and it really looks the part. Ginger Steve sent 20 gift memberships. Thank you very much, Ginger Steve. Really appreciate that. Do you know what's kind of funny? Is we had Big Brain bought a bunch of gift subs not too long ago, and funny enough, it gave them all to people who don't tune into the live streams. So hopefully we'll get some people who tune in. But thank you very much. It really does help the channel, Steve. I really appreciate that. Oh, Big Brain is green again. There we go. Look at that, Big Brain. Still have you beat. I think people are going to be hard pressed to beat you, Big Brain. All right. So my aim with this, I may as well talk you through what my aim is with this sort of sand and glue mix. Is I kind of want to beef it out and cover over the poly filler which I've used, and it's probably going to take a few coats. Because it's basically just to cover the poly filler. So I think what I'm going to do is probably one coat all over, let it dry, another coat, and then some like patches of sand, I guess, to give a little bit more texture in certain places. Luke Thompson, bloody hell, that's huge. It is, Luke, and this is only a third of the table. So we still have another 2 sections to do. One of which will obviously have the hive wall, and the other will have our little section for the nomads. So, you know, a lot more to do. It's going to get a lot bigger. Long live the Grey, says Jog. I think you'll forever be a Grey, Jog. I think you're going to be the last Grey standing at this rate. First on the list, says Big Brain. Well, Big Brain, you do have some pieces of our Golden Throne diorama named after you now. It is the Big Brain Gate. It will forever be the Big Brain Gate. I'm really looking forward to seeing this once we've given it some undercoat as well, just because it's going to really tie it all in. And then we can take the airbrush to it. Because I think the bridge is going to require the airbrush. So like I said before, ever since I moved to using an airbrush, I could not go back to just paintbrushes now. Just because it makes the painting so much easier and it looks better as well. You know, obviously we will use bigger brushes for things like dry brushing this all over, you know, and for the pigments and stuff, but airbrush is the way to go. Grey is the sky. Not here, Jock. It's been kind of blue. I don't know if any of you have noticed my red hue today. I managed to burn my forehead and burn my arms. So, wear sun cream. Don't be like me. Now I look like a cherry tomato on stream. Big Brain's bragging now. You like bragging, Big Brain. You're first on the gift list. It's because you're always here, Big Brain. That's the thing. You're always here. So it's good to see that it actually picked you out this time when some subs were gifted. Alex, hello from Denmark. Nice buildings and scenery. Thank you very much, Alex. We're trying to make some proper progress on stream now. So I'm just giving it like a coat of this PVA sand and gravel mix just to kind of add some texture. And then obviously once that's all dry, we are going to come in with some undercoats to tie it all in and then crack out the airbrush. But I figured I'd try and set up a stream to do this on, basically, because some of this work I've obviously been doing on my own and recording footage of it for a little video. Because I know the vast majority of channel members don't tune into the live streams, which I've said it's always fine. We're not just a live stream channel. I like to make videos for you guys to watch and sort of see their progress in an 8 to 10 minute window. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I figured I would set this up so you guys can see it firsthand and see that progress has been made. But it's been really fun. It has. It's been, you know, I always welcome a break from the Golden Throne because there's always so much to do with it. And it's given me ample time to think about what to address next, because for the past few weeks I've kind of been flitting around it and not knowing what to focus on. And it's given me an idea now. So one of the things, I'll give you guys a little hint as to what's next. One of the things I have to get my hands on is some candles. So for those of you who have seen my little Necromunda build I done a few weeks back, I painted up some red candles that I thought looked looked really good. And I'm going to need a bunch more of them for the Golden Throne now. So that's what we're going to do. There's your hint. I'm ignoring the chat. There's it. I don't know if there is a gift list, Jock. I think it just randomly chooses. But Big Brain was saying that his name was turned green, and I was saying that's because he's always here. He is literally always here on stream. Luke Thompson, where did you get the ruins from, or were they given to you by Hobby House? They were all provided, besides the craters that I've had in my collection for God knows how long. All the terrain has come from Hobby House, so everything that is going towards this build has been provided by Hobby House. So yes, we have lots to work with, but this is kind of a little look at what is capable through 3D printing, because Toby has like 2 printers on the go, and he makes some really awesome terrain with them, and we're just going to try and tie it in, basically. Alex, remember not to make your phone part of it. Yeah, I know. Can you see where I put it? I just glue it to the table. And do you know what that's reminded me of, Alex, is I haven't put all messages on. I've always got the wrong filter on. So let's change that. All messages. Apologies if I missed anyone's message. I have a tendency to filter it to top messages. Well, that comes auto-clipped, basically. Tiny Lord, hello, how is it going? How is the project going? It's going well, thanks, Tiny Lord. We are making some tangible progress at the moment, which is nice. And I think, where am I going to put this now? So I don't glue it. I'll put it in the crater. Yeah, basically we're making some tangible progress. I thought I would try and get you guys a better angle with the camera and get this section of the board on stream so you can see it coming together in real time. But yeah, it's going well. Really, really enjoying this one. It's nice at times as well when I'm not streaming or not recording. Just pop some headphones in, listen to like a documentary or some music and just go ham, basically. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. It reminds me of when I was younger in the hobby and I used to have all these ideas to like make big pieces of terrain. But obviously when you're a kid, you can't really realize those ambitions. And now I'm 30-something-year-old just building huge pieces of terrain and I absolutely love it. It's like my element. I would happily spend every day just doing this. Rover Mars Rover, hello buddy. Breaks for the break god, ample time for the ample time throw. I know, it's taken a while, hasn't it? I will never argue with any of you who say like, it's taken a long time. I know it is. I know it's taking a long time. And I think that is something to do with like my lofty ambitions for it. I have explained on some of our streams before that I want this to be like the magnum opus of what I do, you know. I spend hours on areas of this diorama which you wouldn't usually spend time on. So if we look back to edge highlighting, I always use this as a reference point because it's just so daft and I don't think many people do it, but edge highlighting zone mortalis tiles, that's what I've been doing when it comes to the Golden Throne. Obviously it's a crazy undertaking, but I'm really happy with the way it looks and like I said, you know, I want the level of detail on that build to be just ludicrous. So yes, it does slow things down, doesn't always make for great content, but it's more sort of, for me, it's more like documenting my work on the project as opposed to just making it for YouTube, if that makes sense, you know? Not that that's a bad thing, obviously, people making content for YouTube. I'm not complaining about what anyone else does. What I mean is just like it's kind of like a labour of love for me working on that project. So I'd say I'm always going to take my sweet time on it, but the idea is to ramp things up a little bit this year. But obviously we've got another little project that kind of came out of nowhere, so it might take a little bit longer. What else we got here? Chris, I work on the Discord more after the stream. Oh, thank you, Chris. I see your name is red now. Both you and Frag Eye. I've got 2 mods for the 8 of us, so hopefully things don't get too rowdy between 8 people. When a quarter of them are mods. Alex, I love these elevated archways. The grandeur of the buildings all me to one place and back. Oh, I'm glad they evoke something in you, Alex. When I seen them, when I went down to Hobby House and Toby showed them to me, I thought they were, you know, awesome, and I felt like they needed to be part of the build that we wanted to achieve. So yeah, you know, they're going to be there's going to be like a focal point for each section. So for this section, we are going to have the bridge, obviously, and then this kind of ruined chapel, I guess. And then for our nomads, we are going to have the Habs. We're going to have a few Habs, and we're going to have our crashed Aquila lander. So that'll be the focal point of that section. And then finally, our Hive wall will be the 3rd and final section. Tiny Lord, where are you off to? Luke Thompson, sorry. Tiny Lord, where are you off to? Arizona, already been to Texas this week. That's nice. Tiny Lord, you're going on holiday, are you? Must have missed that. I did miss. Very good angle. Can see you working. You can. I'm proving that I actually do things on stream instead of just sitting here and talking. Sitting here and rambling. I think you guys forgive me when I ramble though, because I feel like you wouldn't tune in again if it was that bad. But yeah, already I can see that this texture is really starting to make it look better. What it'll just need though is a bit more in a few areas, just to kind of cover the gaps in between like the bottom of the bridge and where it meets the MDF, just so it looks a bit more seamless and like dust and rocks and crap have gathered over the hundreds of years that this has been here. Hundreds of years, probably thousands of years that this bridge has been here. Maybe use a container as a passway on the bridge. That is a good idea, Chris. That is a very good idea. I did have kind of intentions to make like a patchwork walkway, so obviously miniatures can get the whole way across. But utilising a shipping container as well, or at least pieces of one, would look very good. So might well implement that, Chris. Ginger Steve, it's like that's come up on my thing here. Super chatted. Thank you very much, Ginger Steve. How big is the? Sorry about the delay there, because I got my laptop and my phone to read you guys' messages, and it seems to come up on the laptop first, which is understandable, I guess. How big is the room you're working? How big is the room you're working in for workshop studio? It looks like it's massive. Well, Ginger Steve, it's pretty big. Obviously, I could work in a bigger space, but I am very, very lucky to have this space, like a dedicated workspace. I cheated a little bit, because before I got back into Warhammer, I used to do a lot of painting and a lot of drawing. Didn't really go anywhere, to be fair. It says a lot about having an art degree nowadays. But yeah, so it made for a fantastic space to build huge dioramas. So I'm not sure what the footage is, basically, but it's pretty big, and I can't get it all on camera, basically. Maybe at some point I'll have to do a proper tour, Steve. One thing I will say is creating this board now for Hobby House, I have to do it section by section. So even though this space that I work in is pretty big, the Golden Throne takes up most of it. I've said on plenty of occasions that it is very hard to show the scale of the Golden Throne, because when I get it up on camera it always looks kind of smaller than it is in person. But yeah, this monster takes up at least, it's just under half of the room. And obviously I've got a sort of workbench, I've got my shelves and everything, and it leaves me just enough space to work on this board section by section. So yeah, it's pretty big, but I could always use more space. It would be perfect. Do you know what? If I wasn't a terrain builder and I just built my marines and my tanks and stuff like that, perfect. I'd have just more than enough space. More space than I could ever use. My issue was, yeah, I'm going to get into building just really big bits of terrain, and that makes a big space a small space. So yeah, it's kind of like shrunk down my operating space. And some of the things that you guys don't see, obviously, is that before a stream, I have to move everything around, everything besides the throne. So in front of me, I've got like, I don't know, about 5 foot, I think. But I have to just move everything to get this set up, because I'm not that organised in this studio. And after the stream's over and I'm doing work on this off camera, I'm gonna have to move everything again. But to be fair, to show you guys the sort of work in progress and show you things live, basically, it's worth it. It really is worth it. I mean, doing live streams is definitely one of the more enjoyable elements that I've got into on YouTube now. So I feel like they're going to be a mainstay, but the idea is to still make YouTube videos as well. So I have been doing that in the background. Tiny Lord, the airport Wi-Fi is as terrible as one might expect heading off now, but I'll try and get on the Discord after I land. You'll have to take some pictures, Tiny Lord. You'll have to put some pictures on the Discord and show us all. But I hope you have a really nice time. Never been to America, so it'd be nice to see what you get up to. Big Brain, is the background music loud for everyone else too? If it is, I can always turn it down, so please let me know. One of the other issues might be that I'm sat a little bit further away from the laptop today, so potentially my voice might not be carrying as well. But if it is, I can always turn the volume down. Gloom Creature, hello, how's the new project going? Well, Gloom Creature, it's going pretty well today. I was just saying earlier that I feel like I'm really sort of coming into my stride with this one now, after overcoming some analysis paralysis. We are, making strides with it. I think one of the things that's quite enjoyable about making a landscape sort of board, just kind of with natural terrain as opposed to in the throne room where everything is zone mortalis or pipes and cables and stuff, is things can be a bit more rugged. So I don't need to be as meticulous about it in a way. It doesn't mean that I need to be like careless with it or anything like that, but things can be a little bit more rugged, basically. Thank you very much, though. For those of you who are just joining us today, if you want to get involved, I have set up a Discord, of which there is a few of us at this point in time, but it's open to anyone, and we just kind of show off what we're working on. I keep you guys updated with the stuff that I'm working on, and it's just the beginnings, I think, of a humble little community. So, if you are interested, feel free to click the link and deposit yourself there. Yeah, I think someone's going to have a nice... how long are you going for? Oh, he's probably gone now, isn't he? Tiny Lord. But I think someone's going to have a nice time away. That's got me looking forward to my holiday at the end of August. I'm going away to Switzerland for a little bit. A little break. Haven't had a little break for probably like 2 years now. I haven't really been anywhere, so this will be a little opportunity for me to take a few days to just chill out and see some stuff in Switzerland. No doubt it'll give me some time to think about ideas as well. And we should be a lot further along with the project at that point. Hopefully we'll be well into our second section by then, if not the third. It's quite good using this little mix of PVA and sand and gravel and stone. You can just slap this on, because it's essentially like a base layer. I can cake this on, and then once it's dry, I can sprinkle some more sand on the top, and it will just give it a more natural feel, basically. Gonna have to move the phone. Now, one of the ideas that I've been wrestling with a little bit is the colour scheme I want to go with. So, obviously when it comes to the sand and the stones and everything, and like the ash waste themselves, I have an idea of how I want them to look. But when it comes to the bridge and the Hive City, I don't know whether to go with a sort of muted grey, or to go with like a sandstone-esque colour. So, I don't know what you guys think. When you imagine a Hive City and a sort of bridge out into the wastes, what colour can you think of? Like, are we thinking Rockcrete grey, or are we thinking sandstone? Gloom Creature, I've been in Ireland for the last week. Saw some distant relatives. That sounds cool, Gloom Creature. Whereabouts in Ireland did you go to? I haven't been to Ireland for a long time. We've got lots of family over there. But probably haven't been in the best part of 10 years now, which is quite bad. But I have loved it in the past as a kid, going to Ireland. Big Brain, how big of a mess is this paste? Do you know what? If it stays in the tub, Big Brain, it's not too messy. And if I don't coat my jeans or my shirt with it, it's alright. Just got to keep it contained. And if you're going to attempt it yourself, just try and make it quite a thick paste. If you don't add too much PVA, it tends to play ball. Cork, nice. I haven't been to Cork. But I'd like to go to a few more places in Ireland, basically. It's only when did I go? So I went to Dublin for the first time about 3 years ago. And really enjoyed it, actually. The sun was shining when I went, which was a surprise, because all the times I've been to Ireland in the past, it's been rainy. Chris, tune the music a little so we can hear you better. I will do that. I will do that now, Chris. How does that sound? Is that any better? God, I am red. I did catch the sun today, didn't I? I got a shiny ass forehead. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better, guys. Chris, let me know if it does. Ginger Steve, the rocks on Armageddon are grey, which is weird because the sand is sand-coloured. I'm not sure why Games Workshop had a geologist on hand for that decision. Didn't they use, actually, Ginger Steve, didn't they use coconut husk as well? Because people were asking, like, oh, the new bases look really cool. Like, what did you use for the kind of dead plants and stuff? And apparently it's coconut husk. So I feel like the sales of coconut husk have probably gone up just so people can use them for their Armageddon style bases. But yeah, it does seem a little bit strange. Sandy coloured gravel and then grey rocks. I think with this one, Steve, is because we are going with a Necromunda style build. It's going to be all sandy. I don't think I'm going to pick out the rocks too much. They might be a different shade, just to give it a bit more definition. But I'm going to try and tie them in so it's not like bright grey rocks. Chris, yes, okay, that's good. I think it is because I'm sat a little bit further away from the laptop today, so and also because I'm looking here and projecting here, might not be coming through as well. So I will try and talk a little bit louder without shouting at you. Big Brain, that's way better. Okay, fantastic stuff. I'm always learning with these live streams because I haven't quite mastered it yet, you know? I feel like every stream we do, there's something new to learn. But we'll get there eventually. Okay, it's funny because a second ago, Big Brain was like, is it messy, what you're doing? And I'm like, nah, it's fine, as long as you don't get it on anything. And I splodged it on stuff. Lol, I use tobacco for death shrubs. That's a good idea, Chris. It might be expensive now, though, surely. You'd be asked, did you take up smoking? You're like, nah, it's just for my miniatures, just to base my miniatures. Tobacco looks great. But I can see how that would work. We're here to help, lol. I am not so Bing. What terrain is that? Well, I am not so Bing. This is some 3D printed terrain. I don't know what the names of them are because they were provided to me by Toby from Hobby House. But one thing I do remember is that they are quite easy to find, I think, on eBay. So you might be able to get the name of the designer. But yeah, basically 3D prints. I think the ruined like chapel tower is done by the same creator as the bridge. Don't hold me to that, but I think that is the case. Nygok, would you be so kind to share the name of the ambient track? It's perfect for 40k mood. Also, hi. Oh, thank you very much. So, the music, what I can tell you, Nygok, is the music is provided by Sebastian Kling. He does the music for, well, he does like 90% of the music for my channel, and it's fantastic. You can find him at Sebastian Kling, I think. If you type in Sebastian Kling on YouTube, he will come up on the top. But yeah, he does all ambient tracks, sort of Warhammer inspired stuff. So if you like this backing track, I think you will love the rest of what he has to offer. So let me know if you find it though, just to make sure I've got it right. But yeah, usually when I type in his name, he does pop up at the top of YouTube. So yeah, we're still using proper music, created by a human. There is no AI stuff. This was all made by an actual human being. Which I feel like is a little bit of a rarity nowadays. Obviously, I don't think we should feel like I opened a can of worms saying that. Maybe we won't jump into that right now. But yeah, it's all human here. Okay, we are definitely getting there. I might need to spin this thing around actually to get the other side instead of reaching all the way over. But it's definitely looking like the part. I've also got this sprue of Gribblies that I'm going to put on. So I think the sprue that I'm on about came as part of what was the scenery set called? It was one of the most recent ones, and it was Hive something, as part of Kill Team. My memory is failing me now, obviously, but basically this sprue of Gribblies came with like ladders, some massive metal defences, there's some barbed wire pieces, there is also some like smoke grenades and stuff going off, which look really cool. So I think we're going to use a few of those pieces as little details on this build. It's one of my favourite things, adding little details in. So obviously, like, this part of it is really fun as well, like tying it all together. But once this is painted, and we've got some base colours down, we can start adding in some painted details. Just so when you're playing on this table and you're kind of looking around it, you can notice things that you might not have noticed at your first glance. There's the man himself, Torhammer. There's Toby. Oh, looks like the MVP himself, live and direct. Stoked to catch it happening live. Very excited to see this come together, my dude. Toby, by the way, I know who it is, Toby. Your name has been mentioned at least 10 times on the stream already. But yeah, we are making some good progress, Toby. If you remember, because I've had a few questions about this actually. If you remember who designed the bridge, please let me know, because we've had a few questions about it, and all I've been able to provide people with is, I think you can find out the name of it because they sell it on eBay. So if you do know, please let me know. I'm not so bing. Okay, the STLs are there we go. So I'm not so bing has already found out. Okay, the STLs are from Vertex Terratus Hive Crossroad by Sarcus Mundus. I mean, I'm kind of a big deal. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen you on the internet somewhere, Toby. I'm pretty sure. Is it Instagram? Have I seen you on Instagram somewhere? I think so. Ginger's the evening device. There we go. We have what fraction of my viewers are associated with Hobby House now? How many people we got? 15. So what's that? My maths is awful, but we have more than one. Yeah. So I'm going to need to spin this around in a second. I will just give it a sort of another pass over this side. I've got to make sure I don't glue my phone to it now, because it's getting a bit gluey. Thing is, it's going to look a little bit messy before it starts looking tidy. But what I can tell you is once we get a coat on this, once we get like an undercoat, I think we're going to start with a brown. It's really going to tie it all in, and then the airbrush is really going to help sort of bring out those details. Then obviously, you know, we can come in with brushes where needed. It's nice to have you here, Toby. It is great to have you here. We've got a few of our regulars as well, but welcome to the welcome to your first stream, Toby. I hope some of you will come down to meet Dan himself at Hobby House with the board. We've got some cool ideas about the collab stuff we can do in store too. Yes, I am looking forward to this. I have mentioned this on stream before, that obviously we will be hosting an event down at Hobby House where you guys can come and hang out and we can talk about the board. There'll be more details to follow as we get it all sorted, but it'd be a great opportunity to meet you all and you know, talk about Warhammer for absolutely hours, because I can do that. And you know, if you have any other questions, I will take a few about the Golden Throne as well. I'll take a few. But yeah, I'm going to be yapping about this project and hopefully yapping about future plans as well and what else we're going to build. But I am very much, at the moment, looking forward to showing you guys this piece when it's done. Big Brain, it is pretty far to the Hobby House from Norway. Do you know what though, Big Brain? Weren't you telling me the other day, weren't you looking for a reason to come over? I think I remember you saying you were looking at flights and you wanted a reason to come over. And that might be a good reason, Big Brain. Come over and come to Hobby House and meet me. And we can talk about Warhammer. And we can talk about the Big Brain Gate as well. Who is Dan? Yes, okay, for those of you, I am Dan. That is my birth name is Dan. You all know me as Imperium Nihilus, but my name is Dan. It sounds weird saying that on stream. I don't think, bar a select few people who I have known for a long time, since I got back into the hobby online, know I'm a Dan. So there we go. That's some news for you all there. I'm a Dan. Torhammer, watch out, Steve will be eyeing up the Golden Throne for his living room. Do you know what? I'm not sure he'd fit it in, Toby. It would have to be cut into several pieces. One of the reasons... Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Looking back in hindsight now, I should have planned the Golden Throne a little bit better. When I had the idea to build it, I was very, very ambitious, and I just wanted to sort of dive in and get it done and get started on it. Didn't really think about moving it. I didn't think it would ever become sort of as popular as it has, you know. I knew a few people wanted to see it done, but it just kind of exploded. And now people, because I've been asked a few times, can I bring it anywhere? And it's like, I can, but with great, great difficulty. And it would have to stay wherever it's going for a long time, because I don't think I would have the capacity to ship it somewhere for a few days, unfortunately. So Steve's living room is probably out of the question unless it's big enough and he wants to keep it for, I don't know, let's say 10 years. Gloom Creature, I would 100% make the journey to play Necromunda on this board. Well, that would be cool, Gloom Creature. And, you know, if you do decide to do that, let me know. Because we're talking, you know, we're talking this year. We are. So obviously there will be concrete details to follow, and I will let you guys know as soon as it's sorted out. Ginger Steve, it would fit in, I think I could get it through the door too. Ooh. You might end up having it then, Ginger Steve. We'll leave it in your house for the next 10 years. Hopefully you don't have to host any guests, because I don't think you'll be able to see the TV. And it might get in the way, but you could always put a tablecloth on it and you know, eat off it, I guess. So might have a dual purpose. Warhammer, you should do a diorama for Warhammer World. I think I'm happy doing it for Hobby House. Do you know what? Back in the day, when I was working on the Golden Throne, I sent a little email. I was like, well, you know, would you be interested in supporting this project in any way? And obviously I know that was a little bit cocky, but at that stage there'd been quite a few eyes on it, so I think we were looking at, I don't know, about 30,000 people I think I had following on Instagram at that point. And it was just to see whether I could get some of the parts, because I'm sure a lot of you know that some of the kits that I've used on this board are quite hard to get hold of. So I thought maybe it's worth a shot. But yeah, never heard anything back. Not so much as a reply email. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. But what is more likely to happen is you seeing a lot more of my work in a hobby house. So that's where you want to be. Torhammer, I've learned never set Steve a challenge. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to bring it down with me, aren't I? Here, Steve, here's your new Golden Throne. I have a grand piano in my living room. Well, Ginger Steve, not anymore. You've got to get rid of the grand piano. Or you gotta clear off the top so we can put the throne on the top. Then you can still play the piano. And it's just about high enough to game off of. So, that should work. Oh, there we go. Luke Thompson's having some connection issues. As long as we're still running, we're still going. Warhammer, would you do an Orc One diorama or any other Xenos-based one? Do you know what, Warhammer? I'm always up for a challenge. I am always up for a challenge, and kind of like what we're using here today with this terrain, using the 3D printed bridge and the 3D printed chapel tower. Making like a piece of scenery that revolves around Xenos is a lot more like tangible now. So I'm certainly up for making something in the future that revolves around a different race and not just humanity. So orcs could be one, very scrappy though, and maybe a little bit similar to this in terms of like the kind of rubbish you'd find in the ash wastes. One that I've thought of in the past would be like an Eldari sort of themed table. I think could be quite interesting. What else have we got? Or we could go all out Tyranids. You know, you could have quite like a fleshy environment with lots of spores and stuff like that. So, long story short, yes, I would. And we'll see what the future holds. Ginger Steve, I live in a converted church, and my living room is in the middle of that. That sounds epic. That sounds very epic, Steve. I feel like the Golden Throne would fit in well there. I can see it now. No, he is wibbling along, says Chris. Torhammer, we're building a new Warhammer world, but with milkshakes and cooler people. See, doesn't that sound cooler? Doesn't that sound cooler? And the aim is to provide you guys with some epic tables to play on. I think a lot of us are in agreement that we need some more interesting terrain to play on. Obviously, you have your tournament-specific ones, which are fantastic, and you know they work well with the rules. But obviously, you know, we want to provide something that gives you a little bit more of a sort of narrative as well, so you can get fully immersed in your game. You know, and it'll be compatible with Necromunda, Horus Heresy, 40k. So yeah, it's going to provide you with that extra little bit of flavour, basically. What else do we have here? Did you finally get the printer then? If so, can I send over those Titan files? I haven't got one yet, Warhammer. I mentioned earlier in the stream that these 3D prints, God, I'm getting tongue twisted again, this happened last week. These 3D prints were provided by Toby, aka Torhammer. Yeah, I didn't have to print them off myself. But maybe in the future, if it becomes a a case where I manage to get my hands on a 3D printer, I will certainly take some files. Nothing cooler than a Crash Titan. If you want to play on a table like that, when I was down at Hobby House, I actually seen some ruined Titan scenery down there, so it's already going on. Frag Eye, hello Frag Eye, how's it going? How is it going? Ginger Steve, I'm not allowed a golden throne. I don't select interior decor, I just pay for it. Oh, that sounds very familiar, Steve. Do you know what? Why do you think I am sat here in a separate room? Do you think I'd be allowed any of this in the house? Especially not a giant golden throne. For those of you who've seen my comment on Instagram, I had a video the other day that kind of blew up. And one of the questions was like, are you married and what does your wife think of this? And I replied with, well, I'm not married, but I did hide the fact that I was a massive nerd and I was building a massive project in my studio from my now partner for about 3 months, like 2 or 3 months, when we first started seeing each other. I'm not sure it was because I'm ashamed of what I do. I absolutely love doing this. It was more the fact of the scale, because not many people create scenery that's this big. So I was worried she would look at it and go, what is this? Like, what is this? Why does it take up so much space? She understands now, though. I think we've come to a bit of an agreement. Warhammer Death to MDF, that is a good hashtag. We should get that trending. I'm sick of looking at MDF L shapes. I want some character. Do you know what I want to do? What I want to do is, when you walk through an environment on Space Marine 2, and you're looking at all this incredible scenery playing through these missions, my aim is to try and provide an aspect of that for your live action games, if you will. So that is what we're aiming for. We're aiming for detail and character and sort of world building. And hopefully this is the first of a few projects that we'll be doing. Warhammer, are you actually building an own Warhammer world? And if so, where in the UK is it? So I'm not personally building it myself, but I am helping the guys at Hobby House to build it. It is going to be better than Warhammer World. As Toby has said, it's going to be better than Warhammer World with cooler people and milkshakes. I think the idea is to bring back some of the lost elements of hobbying. So when I went down to Southampton to meet the guys, we were talking about how a lot of hobby spaces now and a lot of sort of hobby areas don't kind of cater to all the needs. So in Hobby House, there's a space where you can paint and build and kind of, you know, do your hobby in there. Do your hobby in there. There's the tongue twister again. There's immersive gaming tables. You know, there's a selection of Warhammer products and paints and everything you could need. You know, you've got your sort of bar with your coffees, your milkshakes. So basically, you've got all you need basically, and we just want to sort of bring that to another level by making ridiculously immersive terrain. So yeah, that's the aim. What do we have here? I'm way behind on the chat now because there we go. Big brain in with the real questions here. Living in a church in winter, have a high bill. I think the question you should be asking, Big Brain, is where's Steve going to put this golden throne? But you can have a see if you can fit a 20-foot Christmas tree, Steve. You can definitely fit a what is that? 8-foot golden throne, 8 foot by I guess that's 8 foot as well now with the walls. Chris, I need to print a 2E Warhound. Did you say you had a printer, Chris? Can you print off whatever you need? Because I know you've shown me a few of your pieces which are 3D printed, but I can't remember asking you whether you actually printed them yourself. How do you hide something like this? Do you want to know how big brain is? There was a cover, obviously off camera here, is a sort of big, you know, 4 windows basically and the doors, and I just covered it over. Just literally didn't talk about anything that went on in this room, because it's separate from where I live. Yeah, no questions were asked, so I managed to hide it basically. Warhammer, and when are the dioramas heading to Hobby House, and which ones, and are any already there? So no, there is none there at the moment, Warhammer. This table that I'm working on now will be the first. Hopefully the first of many, but this is going to be a playable table. So the idea is not necessarily dioramas, it's going to be fully immersive tables. Obviously the issue with dioramas is, as cool as dioramas are, they take up a lot of space and you can't play any games on them. So we are trying to tread the line in between them and meet somewhere in the middle and have highly detailed terrain pieces. So yes, none there at the moment, but very soon. How long until it's nearly complete? And I also may be able to print some Titans for display at Hobby House. Well, you'd have to get in contact with them about that. Sorry, I missed that first bit now. I've thrown myself off. How long until it's nearly complete? Well, I have allowed 3 months for this build. Obviously, we are going at full speed. Many of you will know that creating Warhammer scenery is not my first job, unfortunately. If it was my first job, I would spend all my time doing this. But we are going as fast as we can, making sure we maintain quality. But yes, 3 months is the sort of allotted time for this build, basically. Oh god, I'm so far behind on the chat. It seems like 11th will have ridiculous power creep, so you need dense terrain. Oh, I didn't see. I'm not a rules person. A few of you will definitely know I don't actually play any Warhammer. I just love the universe. I love the universe. I love the lore. I love the miniatures. I love painting. That's what I know. Ginger Steve, the reason I started the Hobby House project and managed to get us to where we are today was I hated coming back to Warhammer after a 20-year break and seeing what people play on. Do you know what, Steve? That completely encompasses how I feel about it as well. So although I do not play, when I came back to the hobby as well, seeing how things had changed, I know there's a bit of nostalgia in here, but you know, I remember being younger and you'd be able to go to a Warhammer store and you'd be able to play, you'd be able to paint, and I feel like a lot of that has kind of been lost over the years, and I think that's why I'm so attracted to the aim for Hobby House, basically. It's filling that void. Torhammer, we're taking all the best bits from Old Games Workshop. We want the best tables, the best customer service, and we want to get to the point where Hobby House is in every city full of tables like this. That is the aim. That is the aim. Looks like I'll have to speed up a little bit though. Tables like this in every store, you say, Toby? Ooh. Fragai, you know what would be cool? Another bridge that is even higher than the ruined one. At least that's what I planned for with my board. That is very ambitious, Fragai. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to achieve that in this build, but what we are going to have is the way that this table can be laid out is the bridge will line up with the walls of the Hive City. So basically you can position it so you have your massive hive wall and then you have your gate and it sprawls out across the bridge. So you'll definitely have that verticality once the wall gets started. Does Hobby House do MTG? I think they are starting to. There we go. Yeah, Torhammer, we do. We just started. See, so if you're a fan of card games, TCGs, Hobby House is catering to those needs as well. You won't need to go anywhere else. Chris, yes, I printed them myself, or Elegoo Saturn 2. That is awesome, Chris. If you do get started on another one, let me know how it goes. Make sure you put some pictures in the Discord. Obviously, at some point down the line, I need to get my hands on some Warhounds for the Golden Throne. It's a long way off yet, obviously, because we've still got to finish building it yet. But I like to see any Titan-related stuff, basically. Rover Mars Rover, focus is shifting around a bit. Oh, it is, isn't it? Whoa. Whoa, easy. Easy, camera. Not sure what that was about. I have complained about this on stream before, that I'm working with a bit of an old camera, so apologies if it does decide it's going to have a funny 5 minutes. Warhammer, how would you recommend starting making a scenic board? Well, I think the first thing, Warhammer, would be having a good idea of what you want to create. Or at least having a rough idea, because you can kind of work as you go along, but just having that starting point always tends to help. Get your measurements for your board, get your MDF cut, and just go for it. You know, it's not... I feel like sometimes when we're starting projects, we can make it seem more difficult than it needs to be. Again, this happens with lots of people. You get that, like I've mentioned before, you get this sort of analysis paralysis. But once you get stuck in, you're fine. You know, you just need to go for it. Hopefully that's not too lame of an answer. Nygok, thanks. I think I found him, Sebastian Klingright. That's the one, Nygok. He's got a great back catalogue of music. So yeah, just check it out. I don't know whether he's got this one on here. Trying to see whether I've got the name for it up. I don't think I've got the name for it at the moment. But if you're interested, if you really, really want to know, I can find out and I can stick the title of it on Discord. Or maybe if you drop a comment on Sebastian's work, he might even be able to point you in the right direction. But yeah, fantastic musician. Fantastic musician. Fry Guy, that sounds great. Well, I hope it comes together, Fry Guy. I think that's going to be the most complex part of this build, is going to be the hive wall. The reason I started off with these sections that aren't as dense is because it gives me a bit of time to process and think about how I'm going to achieve it. I do have a good idea now, and I think what we're going to do, you know, a little bit of a sneak peek here, is we are going to have a sort of, I want to say like a dust ramp up to it. I'm going to use some polystyrene boards so that the wall is a little bit higher. And I'm going to use some Zone Mortalis pieces, and then we're going to have Imperial Sector pieces on top and just gradually build it up. So yeah, you know, we will get there eventually. Hobby House is planning to expand to other areas and cities like Somerset County. That's close to me, that is, Warhammer. That's very close to me. I think that is the goal. That is the end goal. I don't think there's ever an end goal, is there? Big Brain, I think there are easier places to go than a hobby house for me. Yeah, but is there cooler places to go, Big Brain? That's the question. There's always places you can go that are easier to get to, but are they cooler? Do they have a Toby and a Steve? Alex, a little start for the camera, hugs from Denmark. That's very kind, Alex. Thank you very much. I have a feeling, Alex, that the camera is mainly going to be funded by you. Just because I know when I mentioned it the other stream, you were very generous enough to drop a donation, and I really, really appreciate it, Alex. It's very kind. The good thing is, once we secure it, it will also help the quality of our other content, like the videos and stuff. And apologies, I know, before anyone says, I have not done a normal video in quite some time. So I do owe you all a big apology. But the positive is that I have been documenting this build quite a lot recently when I'm not live streaming. So we should have a nice little video soon. Big Brain, Hobby House. Yeah, do you know what? I can't pronounce it, Big Brain, because unfortunately I don't speak Norwegian. I don't want to butcher it. But Hobby... Oh, I'll try. Gjodvik? Hobby House Gjodvik expansion? I'm sure that, you know, you never know. Never say never. Could be Hobby House in Norway. Ginger Steve, what camera are you wanting? Do you know what, Ginger Steve? This is going to sound really, really unprofessional of me, but I haven't looked at the cameras yet. What I need to do is a lot of the regulars on this live stream will know that I am not a very techie person. So setting up these live streams was a bit of a pain for me initially. So what I need to do is go on and look at what camera will best help what we are trying to achieve. But for the time being, I don't know. I know that's a very, very useless answer, and I'm sorry. But I'm going to do some research very soon and have a look at what the most beneficial camera will be. Warhammer, Steve, Chris, what hobby houses are planned for the areas of... Oh, Warhammer's asking all the big questions there. I will let the gentleman offer an answer to those, because I don't think I could provide you with an answer for those, unfortunately. Big Brain, we need to find camera CHAMRA recommendations. Yes. Well, I need to do my research, Big Brain. I need to do some research. This is getting there. Do you know what I'm actually worried about is I think we're going to need another pot of this. I made this earlier before stream and I was thinking that, you know, I filled this up and I thought that's probably going to do it, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Ginger Steve, send the Discord link again, please, mods. Yeah, I think Chris will hook you up with that when he gets a chance. Chris is my fantastic YouTube moderator. Back with me again after a little time off, I think. There we go. Chris has got that sorted. Chris is absolutely on it. See, that's why you're the mod, Chris, because you are on top of everything, and I would not be able to do it without you. To be fair, I've said this a few times, but I wouldn't be able to do a lot of this without you guys. I'm getting soft, aren't I? I'm getting too soft. But yeah, so I'm kind of I'm one of those people who loves to create things. Love Warhammer, love everything about Warhammer, love terrain, but just when it comes to like organization with tech, it's just not there. Ah, has Chris sorted the Discord? I wouldn't be surprised. I absolutely wouldn't be surprised. Torhammer, I'd say something like Sony ZVE10 Mark II with a vlogging lens and a close-up lens would be ace. I will, do you know what I'm going to do actually, Toby? Is I'm going to screenshot that recommendation. I'm going to have a gander at that. Oh, he says, and he actually just closes his phone. See, this is the kind of professionalism I was talking about. Okay, there we go, let's save that. I will have a look at that this evening, Toby. Thank you very much for the recommendation. Oh, that's funny, Ginger Steve. The link doesn't send you there. Sorry, Chris. Would you try and sort Steve out? Because I don't have the capability to do it at the moment. Nor would I know what I'm doing. But that is a little bit strange, because I think it's been connecting a few of our other members. Alex, the fun of it, we aren't all experts in everything. The most likeable thing is that you admit, so very down to earth, that's why I love being here, Alex. That's very kind of you to say, Alex. It's very kind of you to say. For me, it's having you guys as company while I'm hobbying, because, you know, you guys, my regulars, are just absolutely solid. Like, you're a really nice bunch of people, And it's just nice to be able to do this and chat to you guys at the same time. I'm very lucky. Very, very lucky. Oh, I don't know about that, Ginger Steve. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. If you're anything like me with technology, it happens. Okay. Warhammer. I would recommend expanding. Pardon me. I would recommend expanding Hobby House into areas of Somerset as there's low competition, but large amounts of players with nowhere to go. Look at that. Warhammer in with some marketing knowledge there. We will see what the future holds, I suppose, guys. Torhammer, if you want any advice, just drop me a line. Thank you, Toby. I will do that, to be fair. I will have a look at your recommendation, but yeah, I will take you up on that offer. Because as I said, I'm definitely a maker, you know. If I had a camera guy and a YouTube video guy, this would be a lot easier. Because I'd just be able to make all the terrain. But hey, it's fine. It's good to learn as well. You know, when I started making YouTube videos again, I learned so much. Because, well, I didn't have a choice. Because I wanted to be able to bring you guys a better sort of representation of what I was working on and like projects that I had. And the only way to do that was to just like get stuck in and learn, basically. It's a bit easier now. Obviously, I'm not. One of the things I do kind of struggle with is like sound mixing on YouTube, and I'm sure like Sebastian, who makes my music, I'm sure he probably notices the most, because I reckon when he watches the video, he will know like when the music changes and everything, and he'll probably be like, "God, that's a bit of a rough cut." And it's because I still haven't mastered how to do it. Big Brain, I don't recommend Govik expansion. Okay, I honestly think I'm going to need to mix another batch of this in a second, guys. So I might actually have to pop off camera and mix another batch. Because we're running quite low. This piece of scenery has just gobbled through all this mixture. I remember there's no D and Govik. I love tech too much, says Toby. See, do you know what? One of my biggest sort of regrets is when I was in school, we had like IT classes and everything, like the opportunity to kind of get ahead of technology and learn how to use it. But I was, for want of a better word, I was a little shit in school. And I was not interested in learning anything to do with IT and computing. I used to spend my whole lessons just playing RuneScape. And yeah, I think as much as I enjoyed RuneScape, didn't learn anything, and I feel like that's kind of set the bar for my tech skills for the rest of my life. So if I want to do something, I have to pull my finger out and really learn, you know, really go and check that tech out and get familiar with it. So yeah, maybe I made a rod for my own back with that one. But that's alright, Toby, you can just expect like a flood more questions. Okay, I said I was going to spin this around. Okay, let's try and get this in order. I am going to top this up, so excuse me while I kind of pop off camera a little bit. It won't take a second. I'm just going to put a bit more sand and a bit more PVA in, and we're going to spin this around and get some more coated on the other side. So bear with me, guys. Apologies if I don't read the chat for a minute. Also gives me a chance to have a drink of water off screen. Apologies if you heard that awful gulping. Alright, sand. Let's get a bit more of that in. And we are going to need some more glue. Bear with me. Try not to get it all over the throne. There we go. Probably going to need to go and buy a few more litres of PVA at this rate. Alright, let's try and spin this around. Fingers crossed now, because we know what happens, or at least Big Brain will know what happens when I try and move stuff on stream. He has a custody named after him that doesn't have a ponytail anymore because it fell on the floor, snapped, and Big Brain insisted, oh there we go, insisted that we don't fix it. But there we go. Relatively painless. Alright, let's get chat back. Apologies for that. Warhammer, if you need any stream setup advice, I also know my way around that too. Always happy to help. Do you know, that probably will help, Toby, to be fair. Just making the stream go a bit more seamlessly. Big Brain, I had classes in server admin. See, the thing is, I already kind of check out as well when I hear stuff like admin, server. I go, no, no. Always paid attention in art class though, always wanted to do art. Never wanted to do anything that involved mathematics or computers, which is a bit of a shame because I feel like learning a bit more about computers may have had a bit more of a positive impact, especially on these streams. Chris, we got a GW in Brussels and Antwerp and some local shops in between, but no hobby house yet, you need one there. Worked in Lonely Mountain and Dice Pool in Leuven in the early years. Yeah, I think I remember you saying, Chris, that you have some background working in, what'd you say? Would you say the hobby sector? Is the hobby sector it? Alex, well, you can watch a stream, perfect picture and sound, listen to someone tell you what to do. I'd rather watch a bit blurry clip with you and might learn something and have fun. Thank you, Alex. The idea is to, you know, just have a bit of fun, do some hobbying. I'm not particularly like a how-to guy. I will always give you a little bit of advice on what I've learned if you should ever ask for it, but I'm not like a tutorial how-to guy. As I've said before, like the idea with these streams is mainly just to kind of hang out and hobby together. Or for those of you who aren't doing any hobby at the moment, just to kind of like, I don't know, hang out. I found them really enjoyable, to be fair, just hanging out with you guys. It's also been good that now we've got the Discord up and running, I can actually see the projects that you guys are working on. Because I know that a few of you have mentioned bits and bobs of what you are working on. But now I have some visual representation, which is nice. And I can see the projects progress. Although Frag Eye has some work, Frag Eye has a Valkyrie that he's been working on for a while now, and I've seen that progress nicely. Chris, yes, Games Workshop, Magic the Gathering, sorry, Pokemon cards, board games and so on. Chris is experienced. Big Brain, I loved mathematics, computers, but didn't like art, but loved crafts. That's interesting. From a guy who likes to freehand on their Eldar models, You must like art a little bit, Big Brain, now, surely. I don't know too many people in this hobby who like freehanding on their miniatures. But you are one of them, Big Brain. Alex, just watching your builds give us some crazy thoughts ourselves. Well, I like, I like the fact that you guys get like a bit of a kick and a bit of hopefully inspiration from what I'm working on, because I know it works the other way around. So Chris being a good example, quite a while ago now, but whenever we were talking about Titans and stuff, Chris sent me some pictures on Instagram before I'd set up the Discord. And it's just inspiring to see, and it gives me ideas for sort of how I want to paint up mine when I come to do them. So I always like looking at other people's work. When I get stuck, so I know this is a bit of a topic that some people aren't a big fan of, looking at other people's hobby, because I know like sometimes there's different levels of painting and stuff, but I find that I get quite a bit of inspiration from it. So if I'm stuck on a project like this, for example, what I will do is I will have a look at people's work on Instagram. There is a lot of cool Necromunda work on Instagram, so I find it helpful to have a look at that sometimes and just borrow ideas, get inspiration for new ideas. I just find it helps. Big Brain, I should paint my Riptide. Riptide? Big Brain? I thought you were Eldar. When did you get Riptide? I thought you were mainly Eldar. Now you got a Riptide. You're a Tau person now. Gloom Creature, I never liked English in school, but I'm really into writing now through 40k. Do you know what, Gloom Creature? I feel like there's a lot of common themes with that. Like things that we didn't necessarily enjoy in school, but kind of grew to appreciate because you find an element of it that you like, and it kind of throws you into it. So I wouldn't say you're too alone with that, but it's better late than never, isn't it? I do wish that I'd paid more attention to things in school, but at the end of the day I didn't. But you can always learn now. If you're really into something, you can always learn now. I feel like, as kind of corny as it might be, it's not too late to start something you want to do. So, yeah. If you have a new avenue you want to go down, just do it. I didn't think, to be fair, like, a few years ago, I didn't think I'd be doing this. Certainly didn't think I'd be live streaming anything. The idea of like speaking to a bunch of people live terrified me. And I'm sure if you go back and look at some of my live streams on the channel that are saved, you probably see how awkward I am and how nervous I am in some of the first ones, I would guess. But you get used to doing different things, don't you? So yeah, never thought I would be doing this, but I am now, and I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. Big Brain, I like a certain type of art. I have 3,000 points of Eldar and 1,500 points of Tau. I didn't know that, Big Brain. You might have said that before, but I don't remember seeing it. I thought you were just Eldar. Fair enough. That's 2 Xenos armies, and you're watching a guy who builds a golden throne. It feels a bit heretical to me, Big Brain. And you've actually contributed towards the golden throne, so wait, that makes me a heretic, I reckon. I mainly play and ain't Eldar. Play and paint Eldar. I'm guessing that's what you meant. Paint. Alex, oh, he's doing it again. The camera's doing it again. Stay put. I think it's because it's probably getting darker as well, so the camera doesn't really know. Alex, some should also get the airbrush out of their backside and get down to our level again. They may be experts, but in what? See, bringing up the airbrush again, I feel like that's very relevant to what we were on about earlier. Is I think I held off on the airbrush for so long because I didn't really know. Oh, come on, camera. Come on, camera. It's really having a funny 5 minutes. Sorry, going back to it. I really, when it came to airbrushing, I held off of it for so long because I was worried about how like complex it was going to be and sort of having to learn how to do it. But one of the best things I've done, absolutely one of the best things I've done, because airbrushing is a lot more accessible nowadays. You don't have to go and get a really, really expensive airbrush, you know. You can get a nice middle-of-the-line airbrush and produce the effects you want to produce. Obviously there's learning curves and everything like that, but you know, it's doable. I've actually, on that note, got to do. I was sent an airbrush by Gallery, and I had a blast with it. I've said this on one of my previous streams, but basically they reached out and they said, you know, can we send you an airbrush and test it and tell us what you think? And I'm always dubious, you know, I'm always dubious when people go like, oh, can you send us something, can we send you something and you tell us what you think? Because I feel like sometimes, you know, they might always expect you to say something positive. So I was worried that, you know, potentially that's what was going to happen. But you know what? It turned up and it was straightforward to use. I had fun with it. You know, it was easy to use. I think I could use it straight out of the box, and it came, you know, it produced a really nice effect for my Aquila lander. So I've got, well, I need to put a picture on the Discord actually. But yeah, you know, it produced some nice effects, and I would recommend it. And it was a reasonably priced one as well. It's not in the hundreds. I think the model that I used was, I want to say 60 or 70 pounds. So it was a, you know, reasonably priced airbrush. And you don't need to buy specific paints. You can kind of thin down your Warhammer paints and run them through it. So yeah. Essentially, after that ramble, what I'm saying is it's doable. You know, airbrushing is doable. I have a singular rattling model. I think you told me about that, Big Brain. Wasn't that the miniature of the month way back? It's fun to have a magnetized Riptide as a toy. It's fun to have a lot of miniatures as toys. I mean, that's what we're all doing, isn't it, really? We're like, we're kids who never lost the love of toy soldiers. We just take it a little bit more seriously now. Big Brain, today I learned that it is dumb to put a sphere of annihilation in front of my D&D players. Oh, do you know what? Never done D&D, Big Brain, but that's that sounds like something went awry. Did you end up paying for it, or were you the DM? I know there's a lot of like cross-pollination with D&D and Magic and Pokemon and stuff and Warhammer, but I'm really lame and I haven't really played like many other games. Back in like 2013 I had a little go at Magic the Gathering and I always got my ass kicked by everyone I played, so that went out the window pretty quickly. Do you know what? Every game I think I do play, I get my ass kicked. It's probably why I don't play many games. It's probably why I just paint models. It's hard to get your ass kicked by someone else when you're just painting models in your own house. I am the DM. We are a man down. You are a man down because of the sphere of annihilation. What does that mean for the person who dies? Does that mean they just watch the rest of the campaign? Do they have to sit it out? Alex, I would love to airbrush. I just regret the people that are wiser, in quotations, than me. Of course they are. Don't talk down to me. Give me some good advice instead. I will remember you forever. I know what you mean, Alex. I know what you mean. It's. I know occasionally you get like tutorials like that where it's like, you know, it's got a bit of air of like talking down to you. But there are some good ones out there. The types of like tutorials I tend to gravitate to are they're actually on like shorts on YouTube. Pardon me. Because it's more concise and to the point. I find that clicking on like an 8 or 10 minute video, like it's all right if it goes into the minutiae of what you need, but for me shorts is really good because you tend to get the information like very, very quickly. So one example for me was going back to painting the red candles. I was trying to come up with a quick method to paint these candles, and I can't remember whose short I watched, but basically the person was talking about using red contrast and then picking out the highlights. But it was all delivered, all this information was delivered in less than a minute. So I found that really handy because I could just get started. I didn't need to flick the video in a few minutes and then get the information, you know. Also, it was done in a really friendly way. It wasn't like, oh, you're learning how to paint candles, are you idiot? But yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. New character time. That's what happens, Big Brain. They have to find a new character. I suppose that checks out. Better than being sat on the sidelines for ages. There we go. So, believe it or not, guys, I went a little bit old school with this build. To get, like, a little bit of a variety with heights, you know, make it seem a bit more natural, what I done was a bit of paper mache. So I ended up using some cheap kitchen roll that I got, mixed it in with glue and water, and kind of sculpted some little hills. And then on top of that, because obviously with a table like this that's going to be people are going to play on, you need some durability. So on top of that, I have put some poly filler, which dries nice and hard. So that'll give it the durability it needs. And then on top of that, we have this initial coat of PVA glue and sand, which will firm up again. And then on top of that, we're probably going to have another coat of this. And then some sand sprinkled on top. So it's going to be nice and firm by the time people game on it. And it's going to mean, you know, it can be knocked around a little bit, you know. So you don't need to tiptoe around it, basically, you know. Chris, what's that say? I love to try out new techniques all the time. It's good to expand the arsenal, Chris. One of the things, especially I can do, is fall into a bit of a routine sometimes with the types of techniques I use. So, like pushing yourself and trying something new is always good because it just helps you in the long run with different methods, basically. So like weathering, it's always good to encompass new methods of weathering just for a bit of variety. Alex, are we calling it a bridge too far? We could call the table a bridge too far. We could definitely do that. Sounds like a really good scenario for a game. Sounds like a flavoured narrative scenario, a bridge too far. I'm hoping that when this is done, people get some really interesting games of Necromunda, 40k and Heresy out of this table. I look forward to seeing people's armies fighting on this. And hopefully the people who play on it will enjoy the flavour that it adds to their games. Big Brain, it need me to somewhat... Whoa, sorry. It need me to... it need to me somewhat level to support minis. Sorry, Big Brain, you have completely lost me with that one. You're going to need to try that one again. Whoa. Honestly, guys, it's really feeling like it's coming together. The next step is I need to get my hands on some, I'm going to go for some Colourforge Brown, I think, as a base coat for this whole section. And then when I've done that and that's dried, we can come in with the dry brush for all the texture of the earth and the stones and the rocks. And then we can take the airbrush to the bridge. But I'm looking forward to that initial coat of brown, I think. That's really going to be the moment that I feel like it's all coming together. I need it to be somewhat level to support minis. The battlefield needs. Oh yeah. Sorry, Big Brain. Of course that's what you were trying to say. Don't know how I was missing that. Yeah, it's not uneven that they're not going to stand up. It'll still be able to like support the minis and everything. You'll be able to have a proper game on it. It's not going to be too janky. Again, it's going to tread that line of like a natural sort of environment that you would expect to find. As natural as you can call a Necromundan environment that's just polluted over the past thousands and thousands of years. But yeah, like all the miniatures, you're going to be able to stand them up. There's not going to be miniatures falling over and stuff like that. Big Brain, stay away from the paint water. It's for Nihilus alone. If anything, I'd be accidentally drinking this, the forbidden ice cream. Torhammer, I try and add a new technique with each new project. It's really good practice to follow and try new things. I've only just started with transfers with my Iron Warriors and can't stop now. Transfers is what got me, Toby. That was another one of the sort of big elements of hobbying that I avoided for the longest time. But once you get that technique right, so for me it was just kind of using Microsol and Microset, fantastic like hobby equipment, I guess. It made them look perfect. You know, they blend in, and then once you get a spray of varnish on it, fantastic. Like that's probably one of my favourite aspects of hobbying. I feel like I'll say that about every aspect of hobbying. I'll be like, that's my favourite, that's my favourite. But the previous streams can actually back this up, because I think the guys have seen me applying transfers like 70 or 80% of the time. So yeah, and it does make a model look fantastic. Once you've got that paint job done and you're putting transfers on the pauldrons and stuff, icing on the cake. Big Brain, why you... Oh yeah, see now Big Brain is a firm defender of freehand, which is fine if you've got the skills, and Big Brain has the skills. But for us who don't have those freehand skills, Big Brain, we've got to rely on transfers. Also speeds things up. Oh. Ginger Steve, thank you for the donation. I've got you the camera and lens that Tobias suggested. He said that if I offered to get it, you would say no because you're too nice. So I did it anyway, mate. Think of it as a big thanks for the work that you're doing. Ginger Steve, that is incredible. I'm literally lost for words. And do you know what? Toby already knows me pretty well, I think. And yes, I would have said no. I would have absolutely said no. But that is incredibly kind of you. And it will go a huge way to documenting these projects. So I really, really appreciate it. I kind of don't know what to say, if I'm honest, Steve. You've got me at a disadvantage here. I'm surprised, after meeting Toby once, I'm surprised at how well he knows me. I feel like me and Toby are very much on the same wavelength. I feel like we'd be able to sit in a room and talk for hours. But yes, Steve, that is incredible. Thank you very, very much. I just feel like the content, the level of videos and content is going to be. I hate using the word content. I really hate using it, but yeah, I feel like it's gonna look a lot better. I've sent it to Toby and he will forward it on. Steve, please get in contact with me on Discord as well, so I could message you personally, please, if you don't mind. But that is incredible, absolutely incredible. Do you know what would be funny though is as you've done this, if the camera started zooming in and out again, I feel like that would be the icing on the cake, just to prove that a new camera is needed. Let's see what we got here. See, I that's thrown me off now. It's so cool. That is so cool. And I'm here like, Big Brain, you are beating the amount of support to this project I have given. Well, do you know what? This is for, well, what we're working on at the moment, Big Brain, is not, this is not a project for me. This is going to be the Hobby House project. But the equipment is just going to go towards like the overall quality of what we are trying to achieve with both projects and any future projects. It's just going to go a huge way. A huge way. Alex, if I had some bigger housing, I would love to build I would love these big buildings. Love when the scenery rises to insane levels. Well, that's kind of the thing, Alex, is with this opportunity to work hand in hand with Hobby House and Stephen Toby, is having some space to bring these builds to fruition, and not only that, but have people be able to play and game on them. So it's, hopefully it's going to be this really nice crossover where we have, diorama meets gaming board. And you can just get fully immersed in your games, basically. I think that is the aim. Torhammer, I'll grab your address on what... please do, Toby. Yeah, I'll drop you a message. It's incredibly cool. It's very cool. Yeah. Honestly, it's thrown me off. It's thrown me off in the best possible way. It's thrown me off. Gloom Creature. In games of Necromunda, vertical heights should be ideally under 10 inches because of any further climb cannot be completed in one turn by most gangers. Oh, didn't know that. I did not know that, Gloom Creature. I'm a little bit worried because our wall's going to be a little bit bigger than 10 inches, I think. But we'll sort it out. It's fine, we'll sort it out. Gloom Creature, I'm sure Hobby House has their own terrain pieces to add, but do you plan to add any levels or stairs to this build? Yes, Gloom Creature. So it's not... for this section, I think what the idea is now is I'm going to have some walkways that go across the bridge, but we will probably add some sort of way of getting up to the bridge level, just so each section of the board has a way that you can ascend and get your miniatures to the height that they need to be. So yes, basically they will have some it might not be just like directly stairs, obviously I want to create a sense of ascending that is in keeping, so I don't just want like stairs here, stairs there, maybe some like scaffolds or something like that, just to keep it in theme, basically. Pardon me, God, I'm doing too much talking. It is a good suggestion, Gloom Creature. I second Chris on that. It will be featured, and it's good that someone kind of noticed and pointed it out, because I don't think we've actually talked about that. Like a sort of ascending the levels. Obviously, it's kind of a given when we talk about the Hive wall that you would expect to see like ladders and stairs and stuff. But when it comes to sections like this, it's not always a given. But yes, it will happen. Also, I think, what's that? We have Him Kaput, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Sorry I nearly missed you there. Big Brain, Toxic Nihilist. No. Blood for the Blood God. Hey nerds. Hello, Blood for the Blood God. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you for making it to the stream. We are full on with the progress this evening, Blood for the Blood God. As you can see, oh, the camera is doing it. As you can see, we are getting a layer of PVA and sand down, just to start adding some texture. We're probably going to need two coats of it. And we are covering some paper mache, believe it or not, and some polyfiller. So yeah, we're just trying to get this done so we can give everything a coat, an undercoat, and get painting. Yeah, so we're full speed ahead, basically, Blood for the Blood God. Big brain. I like Harlequins who ignore vertical distance when moving. Yeah, can't they just, you know, work their way up whatever they need to? It's not really a challenge for them, is it? Alex, seen people make model trains into Warhammer 40k. Bonkers, I love it. I think I know what you're on about, Alex. Again, I'm really bad at remembering like the names of creators, but I did see someone who has built train sets into their like Necromunda build, and it's like Hornby, I guess, or 0-0 scale, and it just blends seamlessly. It's really cool, and it's kind of nice if your hobby is also sort of trains and model railway, bringing the two together. Very in keeping, and very much suits Necromunda. I don't think we will be attempting that. I don't think your man here knows enough about miniature trains to make it work, but it would be very, very cool. Blood for the Blood God, just got off Space Marine 2, not my favourite game, but easiest to find friends to play with. Well, that's fair enough. It's up there for me, Blood for the Blood God, just because of the levels and the scenery. Did you have fun, at least? I think that's the most important thing, as long as you had a bit of fun with it. I will probably be revisiting it again soon, just to get a little bit of inspiration from the levels. I recently jumped on, probably a couple of weeks ago now, but I played one of the missions with the Trigon, where you're kind of just outside, kind of in keeping to the build here, is you're just outside of a Hive City, and you're hunting for this Trigon, and the scenery, you know, the level is fantastic. Just like, I don't know, very reminiscent of what I want to achieve with this without the Tyranids. I might have to go play that again, actually. You're giving me the inkling. You're giving me the itch. What we've got, Gloom Creature. It's also really cool to make it a challenge to reach the high ground, advantage. Whatever way you build it, it will be a blast to play on. I hope so, Gloom Creature. That is definitely the end goal here. Is as long as people can come down to Hobby House, crack your armies out, crack your Necromunda gangs out, have a laugh for however long your game takes. That will make me happy. It's definitely going to be one of the nice things about this kind of collaboration that we're doing, is for you guys to get some enjoyment. Like, you can watch the videos, you can tune into the live streams, you can watch this thing being built, and then you can come and play on it. That is what we want. That is our goal. Sorry, Chris, I missed you there. Showed you a train too, I think. Yeah, you might have done, Chris. I'm going to have another little look at your pictures, actually. I've seen quite a few pictures recently since we started the Discord. Ginger Steve, I would love a train yard. The trains are a little pricey, but would look amazing. Some sort of dockyard running into Hive City walls from a port. It would be incredible. It would be. I think, Steve, there is just like a plethora of ideas, like for scenery and stuff, that are just going around in my head. And hopefully, you know, one day we can get to them. For now, though, the theme is Hive City Ash Wastes. We gotta do this, and then we can start building some more stuff. But yeah, it's always hard not to come up with ideas when you're looking at Warhammer stuff. Like train yards, just anything you would kind of expect to find in a huge Hive City. The ideas for Warhammer Like, the ideas for Warhammer terrain are just endless. They literally are endless. I think every day when I'm looking at Instagram and I'm looking at Warhammer, I will see something cool that someone has come up with. Blood for the Blood God. Scenery is great. My favourite part is the destroyed Imperator Titan. Oh, are you on about the one from the multiplayer Blood for the Blood God? I feel like seeing that for the first time was pretty epic. Very imposing. Torhammer. When I've played Necromunda on tables with 10-inch plus, we've placed ladders and said they were half distance for climbing. Worked really well. That's good to know, Toby. So there are workarounds. There are some workarounds. Ginger Steve. Well, when we want to do a port, exactly. There are lots of there's lots of potential, Steve. Lots of potential. Toby sent me away with 2 very, very large boxes, and obviously we are not going to fit 2 large boxes worth of terrain on this first table. So I think we have lots of potential for future projects. Blood for the Blood God. If someone gave me the space and materials, I'd build whatever terrain or board they want. It's the life, Blood for the Blood God, and I am incredibly lucky to be working with the guys at Hobby House, 2 of which are here, Steve and Toby. Yeah, I'm in a very lucky position to be able to do that, and hopefully together we are going to make some fantastic terrain that you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy. Chris, I still got the idea for both to roam dirt water pods and pools in a hive. That would be cool. That would be very cool. The only thing that makes me twitch a little bit about any water related stuff is resin pouring. I feel like you need to have everything just perfect. And that's not to say I wouldn't love to do it. I'd love to have a nice board with like kind of a sump and just have like a horrible liquid runoff. But the resin pour would make me twitch. I feel like I need to do it very, very slowly and build it up. And make sure those sort of supports to hold it all in place are there. But that is a very good idea, Chris. That is a very good idea. Ginger Steve, I also own a full Air Force from Forge World. So when we want to do an airstrip, damn, that would be cool. A proper airstrip. Or even like a sort of holding bay, is it? From a massive ship? God, the ideas are already swimming, Steve. They are already swimming. Thy Orange Banana, how is it going, dude? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We are going for it this evening. It looks like we're going to have a pretty good coat on this by the time we are finished this evening. And then what I'm hoping to do is just get our undercoat on it. And then get the airbrush out. But how are you doing, Thy Orange Banana? That's me rambling. I've been doing nothing but rambling about this project for like 2 hours now. How are you doing, buddy? Blood for the Blood God. Considering what's behind you, I'd be happy with anything that comes from your desk. Thank you, Blood for the Blood God. I'm looking forward to coming down to Hobby House and talking about this board, because obviously we're going to run a little event. Which essentially is going to be me there doing this, but with you guys sat in front of me. So me rambling about Warhammer for a few hours. But no, it's going to be a lot of fun. Be able to talk you guys through any questions you have about the project. Maybe spitball some future ideas and just make a day of it and have some fun. Torhammer, that OOP Forge World Air Force that is worth more than most houses in this economy. It must be. Ah. Do you know what does make me think, right? we have got to see these kits one day in plastic. It's got to happen. Because we've already seen it with the, what do you call it, the Arvis Lighter, which is a fantastic looking kit. Also, I'd love an excuse just to use that on a build, right? Just to have one of those kits to use on a build. But with that, surely we have got to see like the other, what was I going to say? The other sort of Air Force-esque miniatures. You know, we got to see the bigger ones in plastic. Nihilus gonna be surprised when he enters Discord. He's gonna get lost. Well, Chris, that's why you're my one of my admins, because you can walk me through it. I'll just tag you and I'll be like, Chris, can you tell me what's happening, please? Ginger Steve, oh mate, I have the Xiphons and a Thunderhawk. Also, one of the people who used to paint the models for Specialist Design Studio works for me to paint some vehicles. Damn. So you even get them painted nicely, Steve. You do. I used to love seeing them. It's just like so nostalgic for me. Like I remember seeing like Forge World models for the first time. And especially like going up to Warhammer World as a kid and just seeing like what Forge World done. Because I never had a clue before, you know, I was always just like playing with the little figures that you had in store. And then seeing these like monstrous scale machines and being like, wow, one day I will have one of those. Never have, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I've heard that working with resin and putting them together is like a whole task in itself. So, but that is very cool that you can have someone give you, oh, could you paint one of these up, please? Could you make it look really cool? But it's the Lightnings and the Marauders. Oh, I'm trying to remember. My memory of the names of each one is not very good. I'm trying to think. The one that I remember the most vividly is the Massive Bomber. I don't know if that's the Marauder one. And then did they have a Thunderbolts one? Is that what I'm thinking of? They had some of the smaller ships. Regardless, they all look cool. I kind of like the Chaos one as well. I thought that one was pretty good. The something Blade, maybe? My knowledge is failing me now. The Orange Banana, hello. I'm just reading. I'm reading your messages to someone else. Fraga, I still have old Forge World Aquila Lander. That's nice, Fraga. Have you painted that one up? If not, you've done a great job on the Valkyrie. You're going to have to do that. Oh, there we go. You've just answered my question. It's on my list to paint after 2 more Valks. You've got a list. You're organised, Fraga. You're much more organised than I am. But when you do get around to painting that, Fraga, make sure you put some pictures in the Discord, because I would like to see that, especially since I've just painted a crashed one. Chris made the metal Thunderhawk for a friend when it just came out of the wooden box. Smelt so good. Oh, I bet that's a nostalgic smell. I'd say, do you reckon most of those, the metal Thunderhawks that came out, are still unbuilt? Oh, wow. Chat is getting ahead of me. Yeah, well, Toby's right. That must have weighed a ton. Those things must have been heavy. Oh, see, that's the thing, Chris. It sounds like it would be like a hell of a task building one of those. I'm not sure I would like to do it. As cool as it would be to own a piece of Warhammer history, I think I'd just keep it in the box. Like keep it on my shelf somewhere, or keep it like pride of place. I don't think I'd want to put it together. You know, some kits I look at and I'm like, nah, that would be one of them. Ginger Steve, when I worked for GW back in the day, our regional manager got a job managing Forge World. We got to go and visit him when we went to Warhammer World. That was staff only at the time. I can imagine what you must have seen, Steve. I am kind of jealous. Kind of jealous. Fragai, no, I'm not organised. Well, you've broken the illusion now, Fragai. You could have lied to me. You could have said, oh, thank you. Yeah, I am quite organised. You missed an opportunity there, Fragai. Ginger Steve, Thunderbolts got them too. I bet you have a very impressive collection, Steve. I would very much like to see your collection at some point because I bet you it's impressive. Fragai, yeah, we'll post the pictures. Thank you, Fragai. Alex, get the Arvis. I'm working it into Asmodai's personal transport. Trazia Central Cannon on the back. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I will. I absolutely will. And I will document building it on the channel, if not some live streams. It's just, do you know what? I've looked at the kit a few times now. Obviously, you guys are well aware, because I've talked about this on several occasions, is because we have, like, there's so much Warhammer in the studio at the moment. I'm trying not to get anything that's not going to go on one of these projects. So, you know, I didn't get Armageddon. That was, I'd say it was difficult, but it's like, realistically, those Marines are going to sit in a box for years. So, done the right thing. So basically what I'm getting to is, I've been a good boy, I haven't bought any Warhammer that's not going to get used on the project, but I will get this, and I will use it on a project. So thank you very much, Alex. I'm just going to have a blast, like, assembling it, I think. It feels like back when there was rumblings of it coming out in plastic. I didn't believe it, because I just thought, like, surely an Arvis lighter is not going to be a priority. But, yeah, they've done it, and I'm very much looking forward to giving it a blast. So thank you, Alex. That's very cool. Ginger Steve, oh, that's Chris speaking to Steve. Fragai, you can see how organised I am when you look at the pictures on my table. Yeah, but Fragai, I'm not here to judge. I'm looking at the pictures of the miniatures you send me. I'm not scrutinising your workspace. You know, I'll let you guys in on a secret. Everything you can see in the stream right now is organised and curated for you guys. So you see this lovely set of shelves here? I set this up because it looks cool. If you were to see anywhere else that's not on the camera right now, you'd be like, why is this one area so tidy and the rest is not? So I think we're more similar than you think, Fragai. Chris as well. My workspace is a disaster. I wouldn't even worry about it, guys. I feel like it is one of the staples for being like, I don't want this to sound like hubris, but when you're kind of a creative person, you can have that tendency to have a lot going on. So it's not to say at all that people who are tidy are not creative people, but I find that a lot of people that do this kind of thing and do adjacent things like you know, painting and drawing have messy workspaces. So don't judge yourself too harshly, because always remember, because as I said, I've done it, setting up these shelves and these candles, that what you see on YouTube is not necessarily a good reflection of how people do their hobby. You know, if you were a fly on the wall in my studio, you'd be like, Jesus, it's a mess. And it is a mess most of the time. So yeah, don't beat yourself up about it, basically. What have we got? Alex, it's a lovely thing, like the one you can't look away from on a sunny day. See, do you know what, Alex? If I get stuck at any point with it, since you've assembled the kit, is it okay if I ping any questions your way? Because it might be that I need a helping hand, so I'd really appreciate it if you've got some expertise in the area since you've put one together. Ginger Steve, I have the Valkyrie lifter conversion kit, so they carry containers for boards to look more, to look like there is commerce going on. Those are cool. See, that's the thing. I feel like those kits sometimes can look cooler than like your standard tanks. Kind of comparable to the Ridge Hauler kits, because they're kind of there to, you know, for immersion as well. Fantastic stuff. I don't think I've ever seen one of them in the flesh, to be fair. Big brain, I can live in a mess. See, we're all relatively similar, I think, guys. Oh, do you know what that does remind me of? Kind of off on a little tangent here, but back in the day, Forge World used to do those ruins, like what were they called? Was it part of the city fight terrain? And basically, they used to do these really, really cool pieces of scenery, and you could build the levels up, I think, on them. And I just thought they were phenomenal. I feel like I know we have 3D printing now, obviously, so like it's a bit more achievable now, a build like that, because you can get the files and everything. But I kind of wish that that Warhammer would kind of, you know, invest a little bit more in terrain, because it sets the scene for your games. I feel like it's just as important as the miniatures that play on them, as having like decent scenery. So it would be nice to see them. Like, I know we've got the painted stuff that's just come out, which, you know, it looks good, and it is fantastic for people who don't have the time to paint and build their own scenery, and people who are, you know, who just want a game. Like, fantastic. It's really good to have the option there for those people. But what I would like to see is just more, you know, more terrain for people who like building the kits. The Necromunda team are always on top of it. Like, Necromunda just has fantastic scenery. Next week, there is the pre-orders going up for the new edition of Necromunda, and there's the pipes that go in there. You know, fantastic to have this new Necromunda scenery, but I feel like it's slightly lacking with 40k. So hopefully we'll see a bit more of a resurgence for terrain in 40k. But I guess we'll wait and see. If not, it's going to be off to the printers. Donny09, love the top. Where can I get one of them from? Do you know what, Donny? I see you there, Donny. I see you there. I know who you are, Donny. You can't actually get these shits anymore, unfortunately. I worked with a fantastic chap named Spearhead IRL, or that's his handle, at Spearhead IRL on Instagram. He does lots of metal-inspired shirts, lots of, you know, dark and heavy themes. Well, you know, dark and heavy themes within, like, heavy music. I was lucky enough to work with him on some shirts, but they were limited time only. They were up for a month, and now they're gone. So, unfortunately, you can't get hold of one. But nice spot there, Donny. I appreciate you. Oh, Big Brain's retracted his message. I can't live in a mess misspell. I see. Alex, I made my main mistakes, my man mistakes. Instructions, putting autocannon. Oh, this is dope. Yeah, well, the thing is, Alex, we've discussed this. Like, making the miniatures the way you want to do them is arguably more important than following the instructions. It's good to use the instructions as a base, though. I definitely have to do that. But, like, you know, making it your own and everything and putting a cannon on it, who doesn't want to put a cannon on it? I think mine is going to be a little bit more tame than yours, though, Alex. I think I'm going to go for just kind of the basic Arvis lighter, and I'm probably going to open the the hatch at the back, and, you know, incorporate it as a piece of scenery. But I am going to enjoy every part of it. All right, I've been doing too much rambling for the past half an hour. I've been just mixing my glue and my sand instead of applying it. So let's try and finish applying it. I've said before that the quality of things we get done in the stream has gradually been getting better, but the problem is when you guys catch me on a subject that I really enjoy, well, anything Warhammer, and I start rambling, I slow down a little bit with the achieving. Cool Look Plays, yo, hello Cool Look Plays, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. We have a little bit more left in the tank, I think, before we call it an evening. And I want to get the majority of this coat of sand and PVA applied, so that when it's all dry, and I sit down to it again, I can get another coat on it, and then we can get it sprayed. Donnie, love the work, keep up. Thought I'd pop in and say hello. Take it easy, bud. Thank you very much, Donnie. I hope you are feeling better. Sans appendix. I will catch you on Tuesday, Donnie. I will. Hopefully, if you're about. See you soon. That orange banana, we do love a good ramble. I like to think you guys do, because you come back, and I feel like that tells me you like a little bit of a ramble. I know it goes off the rails sometimes. I get properly invested in it, but I'm glad you guys enjoy it. That's good to hear, Cool Look. Just came to pop in. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. Tom, I love this great live stream, dude. Thank you very much, Toby, and thank you for stopping by. I will talk to you very, very soon, Toby. After the last coat, yes, that is a very, very good point there, Chris. I will be doing that. Obviously, we're going to get another coat of this on when it's dry, this sand and PVA. And then on top of that, I'm going to sprinkle more sand. And then we will give it a sort of set. Hardens better. That is a good call though, Chris. Fragga, I think the new setup also helps with your stream. Thank you, Fragga. I'm trying to improve it each time. So yeah, we're getting there. And Ginger Steve has very incredibly kindly has purchased a piece of equipment for us in the form of a new camera, which is mind-blowing to me. So the quality is hopefully only going to get better. I say hopefully because obviously the camera will do a lot of the work, but you know, I've got to do the work as well, and you know, and be interesting for you guys to watch. I don't want to be boring. Big Brain, I love rambling. You love rambling? If you meant rambling, you've definitely come to the right place, Big Brain. Lots of it done here. I think I need a bit more PVA glue in this. So I think, let me just get a little bit more glue, guys. I think what we're going to do is we are going to apply for another 15 or 20 minutes, I think, guys. And then I think we're probably going to have to call it an evening, because your boy has got to be up in the morning very early to dig holes for a living. In the baking sun, no less. So, we'll make sure we have done what we need to do here. And then I'm going to call it a night. But you guys have been absolutely incredible this evening. It has been lovely to have you all here with me. Big Brain, if you would... Alright, I don't know I don't know what Big Brain is trying to say. I thought Big Brain was trying to say rambling. But I fear that's not what he was trying to say now. Let's make sure we keep it controversy free though, boys. Okay. Honestly, I don't know whether, you know, obviously it's being done justice at the moment through this camera, but it is looking much better. The kind of like texture that we've managed to give it with the what's it called, the polyfiller and the paper mache, for those of you who didn't know, it's really looking quite like natural and organic, which is good. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna look even better once we get some paint on it. And I'm keen to get some shades put through the airbrush, because I think one of the things with the ash wastes is that kind of like variety of tones that you get. You know, we don't want to make it too overkill, but we do want to make it look ugly and horrible and kind of like grimy. So I feel like running some shades through the airbrush is going to help achieve that and give us a bit of variety when it comes to tones. And then the dry brush will kind of seal the deal. Rambling was my ghoul to type. I thought as much, big brain. I thought that's what you were going for. I didn't think you were going for anything else. Truly. Some of you might have noticed that on this board I have actually encompassed some real stones, but I've been smart about it. I haven't got like heavy pieces of rock and gone like, oh, that'll do, let's double the weight of the board. What I've done is used little bits of slate, because slate is quite thin, it's very light. Stuck it down with some no more nails, and it'll help give that, well, it'll give the look of natural rock, because it is rock. So I figured I'd cheat the system there a little bit than using polystyrene. I just use little bits of slate instead. Obviously making sure not to use any pieces that are ridiculously sharp, because we don't want anyone slicing themselves. We're supposed to have fun on this gaming table, not be like, well, not be leaving with any injuries. Alex, yep, leave that to dry overnight. Let's see with paint. I will, and I will get back to it as soon as time permits me. But it's going to dry nice and stiff, so you ain't got to worry about leaning on it, and you ain't got to worry about models being moved around it. Everything on this board should turn out nice and durable, because the aim is to kind of balance it. Since we are kind of crashing dioramas into gaming boards, we want to make sure that we can have that level of detail, but also have the level of durability that is needed for a board that will hopefully see hundreds of people gaming on. Not all at once, though. That might be a bit of a mess. If you are incredibly impatient like I am, Toby has already printed off a magnificent board. He's painted it up as well for Hobby House. It's like, I want to say it's like Mordheim on acid, basically. It is crazy. It is a crazy board. You know, you got buildings that are like 3 stories. I think I put some pictures on my Instagram of when I was down there, but it is hella impressive. And not only that, you have sewers as well. So running on the outside of the board, you have like different levels, and you can go down into the sewers. So you know, if you want an immersive board to play on, you can already go and play on one. Especially if you are kind of like Age of Sigmar, fantasy, it ties into them spectacularly. I see someone losing an eye on the bridge towers, lol, poke. Oh, do you know what? I did worry a little bit about the bridge towers, but we'll see how we do with those. Because worst comes to worst, we can always lop off the spike at the top and just square it off. Because the bridge already has that aesthetic of being quite square and cubic looking. So if we needed to, we could always just saw that off and replace it with something that might not gouge your eye out. But we'll see how we do. We'll see how many close calls I have. And maybe I'll check in with the bosses and see what they think about that one. Because it is a valid point, and I don't want anyone being gouged. It's just as easy for me to replace those tips with something a bit more rounded. Alex, with all that glue, the board could withstand the nuclear strike. Oh my. To be fair, Alex, it's still relatively like a thin coat. And I went for a slightly thicker board of MDF just to make sure it doesn't warp or anything. Not that it's getting enough liquid for it to warp, but I went for a nice durable. I don't know what the thickness is off the top of my head, but you know, it can take some moving. It should be able to take a bit of a battering. Not that I want it to be battered, but you know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. I might not, at this time, go too close to the sort of bottom of the bridge. Just for now. Because also we don't have much left, and I'm not going to fill up another batch tonight. Because work is a calling. But I can always do that, as I said, because I'm recording bits and bobs for a new video anyway. You know, you guys aren't going to see 100% of it being built on live stream. Yeah, we've gone through this. Well, do you know what it does? It gives me a good idea for how much we are going to need each time. And I'll have to go and find some more builder's sand. Pardon me, but builder's sand from outside. One of the advantages, right, to being a ground worker and doing anything like this is access to materials. You know, you can always get your hands on builder's sand and little bits of rocks. One of the things that I found very useful, which you will probably see on this board, is I've used spaces. So you get little spaces for bricks and like windows when you're having them put in. And these ones that I've got have a really nice like grid texture on the back of them. And once they're painted and dry brushed to look like, you know, steel and like iron, you can't tell that they're spaces. And it kind of brings in that element of ye old days when you were looking at White Dwarf and it was showing you how to kind of scratch build things and incorporate other elements that weren't like kits. So yeah. You guys are going to see that again. And I say again because I used it on my other Necromunda project. So it's kind of nice to have access to those materials when you need them. Chris, 11 members on Discord now. That's awesome. We're growing. Slowly but surely, we are growing. I know that the live streams have been getting... Well, actually, I done one the other day, but I think that was on me. Because I don't know. I feel like YouTube is very choosy when it comes to the thumbnails sometimes. Still had a few of you guys. I think, Chris, you were there. And I think we had, forgive me, was it Frag Eye? Blood for the Blood God? Rover? Yeah, but anyway, getting to it, what I was trying to say was the live streams have been getting a bit busier, which is really cool. You know, new members. Obviously, Steve was very generous and got us some members, gifted some memberships earlier in the stream. So anyone who got a green name, Steve is who you have to thank. We are expanding our little community, our humble little community. I feel like this is icing a giant cake. It certainly felt like that when I was putting the poly filler on it earlier today. I was even using like a little spatula to put it on. Didn't smell like a cake though. Bit of advice for anyone who wants to use poly filler. The one that I was using, the pre-mixed stuff. If you're in an you know, your studio space and you've got the doors closed, I recommend opening doors, opening windows, because even though it's not like toxic, it still rips the nostrils out of you. It's got a very potent smell to it, which is something I don't remember. I haven't worked with polyfiller for a long time, but I don't remember it smelling like that. But just in case you do decide to use it. Okay, we are getting near to the end of our batch. I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup before I go to bed. Because I'd like to use this brush again. Let's just make sure we got most areas coated. Alex, 11:30 at night in Denmark now. Better hit the pillow soon. Monday awaits. That's it. That's the only thing about Sunday, isn't it, Alex? Is the beginning of the work week tomorrow. But hey, well, it is what it is. At least we have all managed to have a little bit of a hobby hangout for a few hours. We've certainly managed to get a fair bit done on this project now, which is really good. And yeah, you know, obviously in the week, I think I've said that streaming now is going to be on Wednesdays, so Sundays, Wednesdays and Fridays, if you fancy joining. What I will do is, if there's any other days, you know, if it turns out I can't do a stream for whatever reason, if, you know, life is life-in, or I've got something to do, I will let you guys know on the Discord, but those are the days that we're aiming for. Alright. I think we've pretty much got to the end of this pot. So, I will round us off for the evening. As the music stops, that's kind of ominous. I would just like to thank all of you for joining me this evening. It has been an incredible stream. Had some very, very generous donations this evening from Alex, Ginger Steve. Really, really appreciate all of you. And yeah, I am very, very optimistic about the future of these projects. And I'm looking forward to sharing it all with you guys. So yeah, let's do the roundup of the stuff. If you haven't yet and you would like to join our Discord, we have a little community of, Chris tells me, 11 members at the moment. So over there we just kind of share what we're working on, chat Warhammer. You guys can keep up to date with when streams are happening, when they're not. As I've said, we're going to do Sundays, Wednesdays and Friday evenings in British summertime. We start about 8 o'clock for those. You can find me on Instagram. I also have Patreon if you want to support the project, or you can become a channel member if you so choose. Other than that, I have links to, I have some affiliate links. I have a link to Hobby House, should you fancy any of next week's pre-orders. I also have my Artis Opus Brushes affiliate link, and what else do I have? Some other bits and bobs. Anyway, it's all in the description. Thank you very much for joining me again, guys. I'll just check these last few messages. Alex, still love it. Thank you, Alex. That Orange Banana, thanks for another great stream. Thank you for joining, That Orange Banana. Gloom Creature, thank you for the stream. Have a good night. You too, guys. I really appreciate all of you. If you ever need to get hold of me, Discord is the place. So, thank you very much for an incredible evening, and I will see you all